Well, if I start from really young, I grew up swimming in the Russian River here in California. And my first swim lessons were actually in a river. Um, and then I did synchronized swimming. I started in ballet and that led to synchronized swimming. And I was always much better on the one endurance night that we had in synchronized swimming where we did laps. That was definitely more my forte than sticking my legs up in the air. And so the racing coach kind of recruited me and the rest is history. That was when I was about 10, maybe 11. And yeah, swam all through middle school, high school. My family actually moved from San Francisco down closer to Stanford, where there are better swim programs so that I would have better access to, better competitions and better competitors and teammates. And then around my junior year, we started getting letters from colleges interested in recruiting me. And when I flew out to Rice, it was a beautiful day that I started to refer to as the California days in Houston. They're very rare where there's no humidity. It's blue sky. It's beautiful. It was one of those days, the weekend that I went for my recruiting trip. And I thought, I love Houston. It's fabulous. And the campus was beautiful. I knew I wanted to be, at the time, a biology major and pre-med, and it just had everything that I wanted. And so that was that. I remember to this day, the decision date, like when I made the choice, Rice is the one. And it was at swim practice. I just stopped in the middle of a set and I said to my best friend, I'm going to Rice. And she was like, okay. I'd been trying to make the decision for a month between different schools. And yeah, I remember that moment like it was just yesterday in my head. Stanford was right in my backyard and I wanted to get out of California to see someplace else. And at the time, I actually had a friend who went to Stanford who she, as an athlete, was put into classes with a lot of other athletes. And I didn't know how I felt about that. I wanted to make sure that academics were valued as equally as athletics. And I didn't know if that would be the case, even at a school like Stanford. It kind of shocked me to hear her experience there. Harvard was out pretty early on. It was really between Princeton and Rice. The deciding factor was the gut. It was that gut feeling of this is the school that's better for me. That's a better choice for me. A small part of my mind said at Princeton, you have to blow dry your hair after morning practice or it will freeze and break on your way to class because it's so cold. So there was that, but I don't think that really played a big role in the decision. So yeah, lots of good choices. And it was not an easy decision to make, but when it finally came together, I knew it was the right choice. When I think about my time at Rice, I feel like the one word that comes to mind is growth. Not all of my memories are favorite memories. They're fond memories and they mean a lot to me because they were about personal growth. My swimming career was not an easy one. It was not blessed from the beginning where every race was great. I knew swimmers like that who I felt like they never had hardships. That was not me. I got to Rice and as a freshman, I gained the freshman 15 and then some. And my freshman year, I qualified for NCAAs. I was the second alternate in the 100 back. I wasn't even a strong butterflyer at the time. So I qualified in the 100 back and our coaches both said, second alternate, it's not likely you're going to get in. Why don't you just go enjoy your spring break? Because between conference and NCAAs was spring break. So I go off to Galveston with my roommate and my boyfriend. And 3 or 4 days later, get the call that, 2 people scratched, you're in. And I thought, oh my goodness. I have not been training. Let's just put it that way while we were in New Orleans and Galveston and doing all, having a good time. So I went to NCAAs my freshman year and I came in dead last. It was kind of embarrassing. And I was in a place where I thought, this is not the athlete I want to be. And so I came back my sophomore year. I moved off campus because I thought it was better for my health and just mental state of getting up early for practices. It was a little easier for me to get to bed earlier when I was off campus and get the rest I needed. So I lost all the weight my sophomore year. I trained. I did everything right, I thought. And when it came to our conference championships, I swam okay. It was fine, but I didn't drop the time that I wanted to. And so it was still kind of that like, I'm so frustrated. And then my junior year, it just all fell into place. It finally came together. I was in the mental place I needed to be in to compete well. I put on a lot of muscle mass in the weight room, really strength trained hard, just did a lot of sprint training, was happy for the first time. I actually switched my major to exercise physiology. And so I loved what I was studying. It was just like everything came together. And that was the year that it kind of all happened for me. That, I made NCAAs, made finals. And that's it. When you ask about fondest memories, the one that really stands out is walking on the pool deck in the finals parade to the blocks. It still gives me chills just thinking about it. It was such a moment that you can't repeat again, and nothing compares to that. So that was awesome. And then my senior year, it was like, now I've got my groove. I'm in a leadership position. I was a team captain. I felt confident in myself and my swimming and my academics. And it was fun. Then it wasn't stressful. I just enjoyed that senior year of teammates and camaraderie and leadership. And I swam well. At NCAAs, I qualified ninth, which is, as a swimmer, it's like, go, because only the top 8 make the championship final. So I made the bonus final, which sucked after making championship finals my junior year, but my times were good. And like I said, it was just a really fun year for relays and those sorts of things. So I think, each year was so different for me. And I learned so much along the way that really my swimming experience at Rice was all about personal growth and learning what it takes to achieve the goals that you have and to not let those goals go just because you've had some hard times. So for me, I've loved where my life has taken me. It's not what I would have ever expected when I was at Rice. Like I said, I started out pre-med, biology major. Along the way, realized I loved exercise physiology, didn't necessarily want to go to medical school. So I went on and got my master's degree in exercise physiology in Boulder, Colorado, at CU Boulder. Loved it there. Met my now ex-husband, but fell madly in love with him, backpacking in Europe. I met him while I was backpacking between undergrad and grad school. We got married after we graduated from grad school and moved to Germany for 5 years. And once I was over there, I thought, what am I going to do with my master's degree in exercise physiology on a military base in Stuttgart, Germany? And the answer was, eventually I became the fitness director, and I was basically in charge of everything health and fitness related on that military base. So I organized 5Ks and 10Ks. I hired personal trainers and group fitness instructors. We redesigned the gym and ordered new equipment. And it was such a fun job. And living in an amazing location where we traveled and we hiked hut to hut in the Alps and we snowboarded every weekend of the winter. Couldn't ask for a better time, really. And then I had my son over there, and then we moved to Hawaii. And I lived in Hawaii for 4 years, took some time off of work to raise the kids. And then we moved to Maryland. Long story short, the marriage fell apart, but that's okay. I went back. I was interested in teaching, and I got hired as an adjunct professor at our local community college, and loved teaching in the classroom. Decided to go back and get a second master's degree in teaching. Taught high school full-time, anatomy and physiology and AP biology. So that biology knowledge did come back to really help me out. And I loved that, but a full-time position came open at the community college about 4 years ago. And so I've been a full-time professor since then. And I'm teaching athletic injuries, personal trainer fundamentals, and some of our other health and fitness type classes. So I love what I do. Like I said, it is not at all where I saw myself going when I was at Rice. Mm-hmm. But when I look at everything that happened, all the pieces to get me to where I am, I don't think I would change anything. It's amazing. I was inducted into my high school Hall of Fame long ago. And that was kind of the last I thought would ever happen, was something like that. So when I found out about this one, I thought, well, that's cool. That's exciting. it's kind of a forever thing. And it's really, it's made me think more about my time at Rice. And I don't often do that. I don't often think it feels like a long, the distant past. I'm about to be 45. So it was a long time ago. But every time I jump in a pool, those memories come back. And I try and swim now at least once or twice a week. And so in the last month or so, since the Hall of Fame stuff, I was made aware of all that. When I jump in the pool, I think about my time at Rice and my swimming experiences and how my swimming career shaped who I am as a person. And as I watch my own kids in their sports, my son swims, my daughter swims and figure skates, and I watch them in their own sports and think every lesson that they're learning along the way, every success, every failure teaches them something about themselves and makes them a better person and better capable of getting through all of their struggles and successes in life. So I think a lot about that since this whole Hall of Fame thing.